Does it feel like everything in your world is crumbling? Does it feel like the world is changing at too fast of a rate to even keep up? Do you feel naked and exposed in the unknowns of your own life? Are a lot of things around you being uprooted and you're wondering where your life is heading? Wondering where does that leave you? Are you feeling like you're being pushed in a whole new direction in life than you ever planned on, but you're not sure how to navigate that? Are you afraid you won't be able to keep up with the rapid amount of change that we're all experiencing in 2025? You might be asking, well, will I be safe? Will my life be changing? Do I have to give up life as I knew it? What am I going to do? Those are all really big questions. The planetary shift is already well underway. Consciousness is shifting on the planet at an absolutely astonishing rate. The planet is literally making room for more light, and that light is shining light into the shadows everywhere. A lot of things are collapsing, a lot of new things are being brought into existence. In this video, I'm going to discuss exactly how to stay in your center as this planet is making this shift, and how to gracefully stay in your vibration despite the upheavals. Remember that everything is temporary, even what's going on in life right now. Let's get right into this. Big changes are coming. So, what does that even mean? These changes are not just starting this week or this month. This is something that many people have been going through for quite a long time now, many months, even a few years. There's big changes happening on a bigger scale for the world and also on the smaller scale in everyone's life. People's lives are at stake right now. There's corruption. Many people are, even in my own life experience, are experiencing where it feels like their foundations are crumbling. I've even experienced this in my own life experience as of lately. As I shared in a video late last week, our house is being sold. So we have to move. We have to do something different there. There's big changes happening in how I help people in my healing business. People are losing jobs that they've had for decades. People are cutting ties with family members that just aren't a vibrational match anymore. These are all things that are changing right now. What's happening is it's like a huge cleansing of Earth's energy field on a collective scale. What's not in balance and what's not in alignment for your soul is being rearranged, and all of that poison is being pushed out. Room is being made for what's new. Room is being made for what's next, the new light that's coming in, the new structures that are coming. Structures are restructuring. Things in the world that seemed so secure and so safe for so long, even many, many years, are no longer. So it leaves you feeling maybe like you are on a foundation that is being ripped out from underneath you. Everything that you thought that you knew, you're realizing is not as stable as you thought that it was. It's showing you that the security was never actually in that thing, but the security has been in you all along. But the really good news about all of this is that your well being is not controlled by outside forces. You have control and you're responsible for your own well being. It might seem like it's out of your control when things that you've done a certain way for years, suddenly you can't do that anymore. That's jarring. So, what's actually happening is that you are, it's not that you're completely effed, that you're at the end of the road. It's that you're part of this giant cleansing cycle that's happening. And that cleansing, as it is happening on the macro, the big level, it's happening on the micro, the small level in your life. So, what is the gift in this? What is this asking you to do? All of these dramatic changes that are happening right now are an invitation to root even more deeply into your truth, who you really are deep down, your divine harmonic signature. You're being asked to tap into your highest aspects and your highest inner resources, maybe even ones that you've never had to tap into before. So, the first thing that is going to help you with this is using your divine creativity. This requires a certain level of divine creativity to come up with solutions for. Everyone is creative. Maybe you grew up in a home that your creativity was stifled or you were put down for being creative, but keep in mind that the very nature of life is a creative nature. Just like leaves are created on trees, just like everything is in a constant creation process. So are you. You can apply that divine creativity, that divine nature of life to want to keep growing and keep expanding to find new solutions for what's happening. What's happening right now is the world is different than it ever has been. So none of us have actually been through what we're going through right now, unprecedented times. So it's going to take full creative solutions to conquer this. Your soul chose to come into this body at this time specifically. Yes, you chose it because you knew that you had what it would take to get through it. So when something happens, it isn't that your whole life is over. It's going to feel really jarring, and it's okay to freak out for a minute. It's okay to feel any emotion that comes up around it. Your ego is going to freak when these changes happen. Everything that your ego thought was safe and was real really isn't. So feel that energy and don't add resistance to that resistance. Just be willing to feel it. Then what are you going to do? What is in your control to do today? What different approaches can you take? What new things can you try? What are you being led to do that you've never done before? What are some creative ways that you can meet a need? Right now, I'm experiencing this in my own life and my own healing practice. I had an in person office back before COVID. And when COVID hit, I went fully online with all of my teachings, my sessions. I closed down my office. And since things were going so well online at that time, I thought, okay, this is it. This is where I'm going to stay. But the world is changing now, and people want real. We live in a world of self-checkouts, artificial intelligence, automation. So online became less and less of an attractive option to many of my clients. I felt the call and the demand for working with more people in person again. And my soul guided me to start working with more people in person because that's what a lot of people are needing right now. And that's how my gifts can help them. My ego didn't want to give up the security of my practice online, but my soul said it's the right thing to do to step into the unknown and make your practice in person and virtual again. So I decided to go all into the unknown. That was scary. So I had to reclaim my capacity to choose how my life was unfolding. And I'm still in that period of chaos right now where I'm not sure what the expression is going to look like on the other side of this. So I had to feel that uncertainty energy and just honor it for what it was and how it felt. And now I'm following my soul's guidance to show me what I need to do to help people. Yeah, I'm going to have to do things completely differently. I'm going to have to restructure a few things in my business. Things are responding differently than they ever have. But I align myself daily with my own divine creativity, with my own flow. And I know that my creativity is absolutely, completely unlimited. So I'm staying open and I'm choosing to stay in the solution on a daily basis instead of just giving into that fear because it's hard. I have to walk through the hard to get to the beautiful. And that's what this is all about. Everything that is happening to you right now, whether that is something that feels awful and horrible, painful, really, really unknown, or what, the gift is this is an invitation for you to dig deeper down into your reserves. Life is not always about going higher and higher up the mountain to reach the top, but rather sometimes it's about digging ever more deeply into the mud and the muck and digging down into the deepest reserves that you can and your soul's deepest reserves of divine creativity. The next thing I want you to know about traversing these very tumultuous times on the planet is that you should never ignore your intuition or any nudges or hunches that you get, and be aware what you might be led to do in today's world might be totally and completely different, absolutely different, unrecognizably different than what your life experiences have been up to this point. Think about it. We're already in and moving into even more unprecedented times. So you're going to have to tap into deeper reserves that you've never tapped before. It might be something completely new. You may get guidance and the small your small human self says, "No, don't do that. It's not safe." But that might be exactly what your soul really wants for you to do. I have a wonderful client who was in her own business in the finance sector, and she felt almost vibrationally allergic to her work and what she had been doing. One day at work, she just said, "That's it, I can't do this anymore." So she completely changed course, and I taught her how to do Reiki, and then now she is going to take our quantum shift method training, and she's stepping into her own career in the healing arts, finding her own divine work, helping other people because That's what feels open and expansive to her. The other thing made her soul feel suffocated. It's things like this, even if it seems like it's going to totally uproot your life, your higher soul self doesn't care. Your higher soul self doesn't care that you have to tear down something that wasn't in alignment. That's your human self trying to force things. Your higher soul self is always leading you to your highest timeline potentials and possibilities. And the pain of staying where you're at is leading you to that more. So even if it seems like you're completely different and you're going into something completely unknown, follow your own soul's guidance because that's going to show you what makes you feel fulfilled, what makes you feel excited, giddy, almost with a childlike energy toward it. That's how you know this is aligned when it just feels good. It just feels expansive to you or exciting. Another wonderful client of mine started feeling really suffocated by her family. She was tired of fitting in a box with them and being what she thought they wanted her to be. She had been stuck in the same job, the same town, living close by to her family for many years. So during one of our hypnotherapy sessions, her higher self said, yes, you need to move, pack up and move. So she moved all the way across the country and she moved to Seattle and she started her own business there. And she discovered that she dissolved all of those old timelines that her family wanted her to stay glued to. She transcended those, they dissolved. Now she's on her highest timeline, utilizing all of her divine creativity. If she would have followed her small ego mind, she would still be a secretary at a law firm that she hated in a town that had no opportunity for her. So, do you want to start the business? Do you want to move to Costa Rica? Do you want to get engaged? Do you want to build a new house? What is your soul and your spirit telling you it wants? Go for it. Do it. This is the time. Your spirit wants it. So your spirit is going to show you the way to that. Your guides are going to show you the way to that because you wanted it. That's a divine desire. You aren't getting these inspirations for nothing because you aren't meant to do something different. You're getting it because that's where your soul wants to go. The divine wants to experience that through you. So the divine is going to help you get there. Now more than ever, you're being asked to be all that you've always known you could be. The time is now. So, what gifts are you being given? What is your inspiration? Sometimes it looks like you're reaching a dead end in life, but it's not that you're reaching a dead end of your whole life. It's literally that you're reaching a dead end of one road of that life. So you're reaching the dead end of that job, or you're reaching the dead end of that relationship that you had, or being part of something. You're reaching the end of that, but you still have a zillion other roads you could possibly go down. It's not the end of your story. Maybe it's the end of you being a people pleaser. Maybe it's the end of you being someone who has to control everything. Maybe it's the end of being someone who stays where they don't actually belong, but it's not the end of life. It might be just the beginning of the best that you've ever experienced. But if you stay small and you listen to your human thinking logical mind and not your spirit, how are you going to transcend that? You're not. You're going to stay in those constructs and you're going to be fighting to hold on to what's crumbling. So now is actually the perfect time to shift it. As the world shifts, you too can shift. The time is now. Live your life. The world has been locked into these old constructs, and you haven't been letting your spirit really soar. You haven't let your spirit go free. Could you imagine what the world would be like if everyone followed their spirit and was doing things that really filled them up spirit wise? That would be amazing. And that's what this huge shakeup is all about, really. It's that it's calling everyone to completely let go of all of those old identities that just are not really who people really are. Letting go of those identities of who you were in the old world and be open to what life actually has for you. What does life actually want you to do? It's all about learning how to let go of those expectations because that's just a premeditated disappointment. Let go of all those old expectations and get really, really quiet inside. Listen to what your spirit's telling you. Where is your spirit leading you to? You're never disconnected from that. That's always connected. What lights you up? Look around and see what's going on around you. And how can you align those things that light you up, your soul passions, with what people need in the world and what the world needs right now? That's where you're being invited to go. That's what you're supposed to do. It's time for you to create a whole new life for yourself. It's a whole new life for me. It's a whole new life for everybody. We've never been in this type of consciousness before. Not a single one of us is going to be living the same life we are now in 5 years, even tomorrow. Be willing to be flexible and moldable. Don't hang on to the old and cry about how the old is crumbling away. You don't have to keep holding on to it. You don't have to keep everything in your life, all of this old stuff, the way it's always been. You're being invited to something brand new, something life giving for you, something transformative for you. So lean into this uncertainty. Uncertainty is actually really exciting because if you let go of that fear, uncertainty is also where the most beautiful gifts are at. How fun would life be if you knew exactly what was going to happen and you knew exactly how to sidestep and you knew exactly what you were going to create? That's kind of the fun of it. So embrace that uncertainty and use your creativity to find solutions and build something completely new. So I'm so glad you're here and feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down in the comments what is leaving your life and what are you being pushed into? Do you know yet? What does your spirit want? Let's start a conversation. So I hope that was helpful and you got this. We're all in this thing together. We're all going to get through this and we're all going to build something infinitely beautiful. Talk soon.